sorry about that. My pen ran out, so. Alright, so to finish the second line, so just so you know, there's a stalk in the front. You just can't see it because of the camera, but you put one of these sticks in the front, so you're actually counting 49. And the one stick like acts as the witness, or kind of the oracle, kind of acts as like an artificial divinator over your casting. So, um, so for the third line, I got 2 8s. So you would add up the numbers in the parentheses here, okay? So that would be a 7. So that would be a solid young line. Okay. Now, normally you would ask a question, and I did not, but I just want to show you how this works. So, So there's 9. So it's like I said, you have to start with a 5 or a 9, and then for the second and third attempts, you go for a 4 or an 8. Yeah, I have 2 more lines to go. Sorry, my cat got in the way. Technically, you're supposed to do this in a room that's isolated from other people and quiet so that you can concentrate your mind on just this alone. Alright, the last line. Let's gather all the stalks. This is the last number for the last line. Whoopee! All right. All right. So this is the result we have. So for the first two lines, they're changing yang lines. For the third line from the bottom, it's an unchanged line because it's a 7. Then the fourth line from the top, that's a change in yin line because it's we got a 6 for that. Then the fifth position is a 7, so that's an unchanging yang line. And then the top position is an unchanging or no, it's changing, my bad. It's a changing yin line. So what we would do with this, you pick up an I Ching book like this. This is the John Minford copy. This is a pretty good one. In this one, you go all the way to the back of the book, okay? So you determine what the upper trigram is and what the lower trigram is. So let me see. So the bottom one is a Tian, and then the top trigram is Zhen. So we would go to the 34th trigram. So we try to see in the table of contents where that is. See, like they're all numbered. Okay, so 34. Now, there's two different ones that you can use. The one is more of like is a more like classical text, okay? And I usually use the first part of this though, so we go to 273. I don't think it's showing up there, but 273 in the book. Yeah. So we go to that page, we find out this is our hexagram great might. Da Duan. So we have quake on the top and heaven on the bottom. Okay. Now, how you would do this, because you have a couple of changing lines, actually 4 changing lines. So you would read. You'd read the first part, this first part, the judgment. You would read, this is the other part of the judgment. You would read that, okay? Then, for the first line, because we have a changing yang line, we would interpret the first line. We would go to the line statement for that, read through that, okay? Then, because we have a yang line in the second position, we would go to the line statement for that, okay? We would read that and interpret that. The third line is unchanging. Yeah, just to remind you guys. So it's unchanging, the third line, so we wouldn't have any need to interpret that one unless we wanted to. We don't. But we go to the fourth line. It's changing, so we would go to the line statement for that. Okay. We would also then we would go to the line statement for the sixth in the top place. Okay. And we would use the judgment and the individual line statements to answer our question, and we would interpret that based on what we think the meaning of the line statements and the judgments are in relation to our question. It's a system of like self-prescription, okay? So you ask a question, then it's like going to a doctor, figuring out what the cure is for it. So yeah, and that's basic idea of how to use the I Ching and the Yarrow stocks to create a divination.